Good morning, everyone. Today is a serious day. Last week, we talked about the true nature of interest rates, like a 7% interest rate, really meaning 139.5%. Okay. 139.5% for 7%. 6% really means 93%. That's 93% interest on a loan, and it's legal. Even all the way down to 3% really means 51%. A $200,000 mortgage for 30 years at 3% means you're going to pay back $103,000 in interest. Now, how is that 3%? When you borrow $200,000 and you got to pay back $100,000 in interest on top of that. That is 51% all day, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to tell you the truth about how these loans actually work. And today, we're going to spend some time teaching you how to cancel that interest. So, if you're ready to get started, if you're ready to watch this, if you're ready to learn, if you're ready to start taking money away from the bank and investing it in yourself and in your families, today is the day. Let's go. All right, my name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International. This is a better way to eliminate and manage your debt. Listen, debt is not a bad word. I like the word leverage, okay? So that you can use somebody else's money to level up your life. But what we don't know can hurt us, because we can borrow the money, ladies and gentlemen, but no one is there to tell us how to efficiently pay it back. In fact, next week, if you are in business, next week on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about how you can easily get funding for your new business. Is that right, Credit Goddess?
That is correct.
So Credit Goddess and I are going to be on the show together next week. Rosalora Lewis is going to be on the show with us next week, and she's going to introduce you to an easier way to get funding for your new business. All right. Don't refer to it as business credit. What she's going to be teaching you is a step before building business credit. And everybody else is talking about you need to have business credit to level up your business. Well, how hard is it to get business credit on a business that is 1 day old, Credit Goddess?
Listen, it's easy.
Are you kidding me? So that's going to be the title of next week's show, folks. It's going to be easy to fund your new business. That's the title. Listen, it's going to be a great show next week. How are you doing, Credit Guys? How's everything?
I'm doing great. Just got back from the gym, and in the next hour, about to pound this computer here.
All right.
Connect with all the people.
Well, thank you for being here today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to cancel that interest. And what's great about working with someone like Rosalora Lewis is that she can help you to get the credit, but there's no one on the app, no one on Clubhouse, nobody on anywhere that's talking about what is the most efficient way to utilize that money and to pay it back at 75 or 80% off of the interest that the bank wants you to pay. Do you realize that the interest that the bank wants you to pay is just a suggestion? It is not required that you give them all the money that they're asking for. All right. So I got Jason on the stage this morning. Jason, are you able to talk to us this morning, or are you just listening in?
Good morning. Just listening in, but I'll chime in whenever I can.
Listen, do that. Flame Newton has just hit the stage. Flame Newton, I'm telling you, he can show you how to walk into a bank and come out with a pocket full of money. And we're going to show you how to pay it back. Flame Newton, how are you this morning, sir?
How you guys doing today, man? What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing?
Flame, listen, man, you haven't been on my show in a minute. What's going on? You don't, did I say something? Is my breath bad? What's up?
Nah, it's all good. Gang, man, we'll be just working. That's all. That's it.
You just been, listen, man, I see you on every single day, doing prayer in the morning. You got an afternoon show, you got an evening show. Flame, what's that all about? This is something new for you. Give us some insights into why you're doing your show this way.
Because it's access to money. So if anybody want to know about it, it's called access to money, which stands for the ATM. So what I figured out is people go to the ATM and they put their card in.
Mm-hmm.
What they would do is they would sit there and they'll wait for a retrieval of some funds to come on the other side. But the funds that come on the other side are what someone else think they're worth. So whatever somebody thinks they're worth comes out on the other side of that ATM.
Wow.
What we're doing at ATM is you're creating your own worth. So with that being said, now you can retrieve your own money. So how do you create your own worth? We show you how to actually walk in the bank and come out with a minimum, just a minimum of $150,000 in cash money. So now you don't come out with $150,000. See, that's one thing. The other thing is coming out with cash money with the increments of the 20, 50, and $100 bills to touch the skin of your hand. That's totally different. And now you're able to take that money and you're able to invest that money in your business so you can grow, scale, and continue your business in a positive direction. So all while you're doing that, you're going to learn a lot of different lessons. I've created a 27-point checklist that would walk you into any bank in this country and you can come out with some money.
Wow.
So that's what we got.
Flame Newton. All right. So you've got a Facebook group. Tell us about your Facebook group and how people can find it.
It's access to money. ATM.
ATM. All right.
Access to money.
Search
ATM.
access to money and you'll get all of his information.
No. Access D.
Oh.
Access D money, not to access D, THE.
Access the money.
That's right.
All right. Make sure you got that, folks. Write it down. Don't let me mess it up. Access the money. All right. ATM. Flame, listen, man, chime in anytime you want. But I do have a question for you. Okay. As long as you've been doing this, as long as you've been out there helping people get to access the money, who do you know, who have you met that tells people how to pay back the money efficiently?
Man, there you go at the top left. Call him ICE. Interest cancellation expert, baby. You better know him.
So you're saying you go to some high level rooms, okay? FICO, all right. So all the what is it? The agencies that record all of your business, okay, and try to control your credit, okay? you I can't. Can you think of those three agencies for me, Flame? I can't think of them right off the top of my head. Who are they?
Oh, Equifax, Experian, and Transition.
Oh, those people. Okay, so you know people in those arenas, don't you?
Yes.
And in all of those places, nobody is talking about the most efficient way to pay back the money once you get it. How about that? So, folks, we're not talking about just how to get the money. We talk about how to leverage the money. Leverage means how to use that money most efficiently to level up your game, but pay them as little interest as mathematically possible. And today we're going to be talking about canceling that interest. I need to show you some things right off the bat. So if you want to see this, ladies and gentlemen, go to YouTube, click the link up above, or go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method so that you can see what I'm getting ready to show you. I just got to move some of my screens around here, and we're going to, let me see here. There we go. And we're going to share this screen. Add that to the stage. There we are. Okay. What banks don't want you to know. This is what banks don't want you to know. I need you to understand what P.I.L.L method stands for. P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. If you understand these four principles, you are on the way to understanding how to cancel interest. And why do we need to learn how to cancel interest? It is because of this formula. This is the formula that amortizes your loan. All right. It is the formula that says we can call it 3%, but you're going to end up paying 51%. It's the formula that says we can call it 6%, but you're going to end up paying over 115.838%. How in the world do we get from 6% to 115%? It is a suggestion that is that's talked about over and over and over again, to the point where we think it's mandatory that we pay the bank that kind of money. In fact, I had a guy on here last week that was trying to tell me that the interest that the bank charges on his mortgage is the cost of doing business. Now, I don't disagree with that. But what he was talking about was paying them 100% of what they were asking for and feeling okay with that. Well, I'm not okay with that. I think we should give them about 20 to 25% of what they're asking for. If that is what you want to do, if you have a mortgage, if you have credit cards, if you have any type of loan today, do you want to pay the bank 75 to 80% less? If you do, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat right now. I want to see it. If you're watching us online, put it in the comment section. Go ahead, put it in there, and we'll go ahead. I see you. I see you. That's it. Miss Mickles. I see you. All right. She's watching us on YouTube. She's got a number 9. She wants to know what this formula means. Okay. So let me give you a little hint. Okay. The bank has an algorithm. Okay. The bank has an algorithm to charge a lot of interest, but it's based on one thing. It's based on the fact that you can never know how it works. You can't know how it works, because once you know, you are not paying interest like this anymore. All right. And so if they have an algorithm, you need an algorithm so that you don't have to pay all of that interest. Now, I need you to read something with me, because I don't care how many times I do this. People text me, people write me emails, people call me on the phone and ask me, is it possible? I see you, R. Stewart. I see you, Catherine Chance. I see you out there. Okay. All right. So R. Stewart says, I want to know. I want to know. Catherine Chance says, I want to know. Ms. Mickle says, I want to know, putting the number 9 in the chat. So let me show you, folks. Read this with me so that you can understand that you don't have to do this. Now, this is in your mortgage papers. All of you. A statement either exactly like this or very similar to this. It's in there, but the people who there, the closing attorney, your real estate agent, the mortgage people that are in the room when you're closing your loan, they are not required to explain this to you. They're just required to let you know it's there, but they do not explain it to you. So, the borrower's right to prepay. Now, I need somebody to help me to understand just this part here. You're not, when somebody gives you a right, do you have to ask for permission? Is there anybody on the stage? Talk to me about these words. How important are words, Flame?
A word's very important, especially anytime that you're signing something, anytime that you put your name or document on something. The way the arrangement words are, one word before the other word can change the whole complexity or the change or the meaning of the word. So yes, words matter.
Okay, what about you, Credit Goddess? If you're there, do words matter? Okay, she's probably busy. Come on back anytime you want. So listen. All right, she's busy. All right. So folks, I need you to read this with me. It says, I have the right to make payments of principal at any time before they are due. Can we break that part down? You can pay the bank money anytime before that money is due. So if your mortgage is due on the first of the month, okay? If it's due on the first of the month, that means you paid in your current month. You paid your mortgage already, all right, at the first of the month. But you can give the bank any amount of money that you want before the next first of the month. So right now, okay, we're in March. The mortgage has been paid. Before April 1st, you give them money. This is what this means, okay? If you're in March, you can give the bank money anytime before the next payment is due. All right? A payment of principal only is known as a prepayment. So, any money you give to the bank, whether it's a car loan, a mortgage, a credit card, if you give it to them before it's due and it goes to principal, it's called a prepayment. Prepayments are powerful. I want you to understand this from the very beginning. People think you need a lot of money to pay off a debt. You do not. You just need to know what the rules are and how all of this works. And the keys to you saving 80% of your money, 75% of your money is right here in these 3 paragraphs. Okay? So, paragraph number 2, when I make a prepayment, so when you give the bank that money, all right, I will tell the note holder in writing that I am doing so. Now, there are several different ways to do this in writing, okay? You can go to their website and find where it says make a prepayment. You can put it there. You can send them a note. But whatever you do, follow the rules of your bank. Don't let somebody on the internet give you a blanket explanation and you follow it and you think this is true at all institutions. These banks, these credit unions have their own rules. So if you want to send them the money, if you want to mail it into them or take it to the bank or take it to the credit union, there are rules that govern prepayments. Now, there is no rule against the prepayment. There are rules as to how they accept the prepayment. And if you don't follow the rules, you're going to find yourself in a situation where it's going to cause you more work. Now, will you lose the money? No. Okay. But will it cause you more work if you don't follow the rules? That is a big fat yes. Okay. So when I make a prepayment, I will tell the note holder in writing that I am doing so. I can make a full prepayment. What is a full prepayment, everybody? A full prepayment means you can pay the loan off in full anytime you want. Okay. Now, I want people to think so when it comes to residential mortgages for your home or for your property, if you have rental property, those mortgages have no prepayment penalties. But I wouldn't care if they did. I love prepayment penalties, absolutely love them. You can make prepayment penalties work for you. All right. So all of those, these are words that are specifically designed to scare you. So a prepayment penalty really means this: change the word penalty to cost. A prepayment cost. How much does it cost me to prepay? So when you compare how much it costs you to prepay, if you have like a business loan, okay, they have prepayment penalties. But if you don't find out how much it's going to cost me to prepay, but also find out how much interest you're going to save by prepaying. Let me ask you something. If you could save $100,000 in interest that you never need to pay by learning how to prepay, and the cost or penalty is $1,200, do you care? I mean, really, do you care? You see, a prepayment penalty is designed really to do two things. One is to scare you, and number two is the most important. Don't ever do the math. I mean, figure out how much you are prepaying, all right? Find out do the math and figure out how much it's going to cost you to prepay, but also do the math to figure out how much interest you're going to save. That is the whole key to the P.I.L.L method. We have an AI system that does all of this for you and make sure that every single dollar you pay kills the maximum amount of interest that math will allow, not the bank. Math will allow. All right. So you can do a full prepayment, pay off the whole loan, or partial prepayments. Now, here's the thing. Doing a partial prepayment, any amount of money is a partial prepayment if it's less than the full amount. Any amount. It could be $50. It could be $5,000. It could be 50 cents. It could be 5 cents. When you prepay a certain amount of money, the math kicks in and says you don't have to pay X amount of dollars in interest. That's what this is all about. How to cancel interest comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Give the bank money when they're not expecting it. And you do not have to pay them interest. Or more specifically, you make it impossible for them to charge you interest. How would you like to be in a position where you make it impossible for them to charge you interest, and you're able to live well while you're doing it? You don't have to eat beans and rice every day to do this. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to do this. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to do any of those things. You can still go out to dinner. You can still go on vacation. You can still live well and make it impossible for the bank to charge you interest and increase your savings for retirement all at the same time. But there's nobody out there teaching this. Why is it that no one teaches how an amortization schedule actually works, how the bank makes their money through interest using this schedule? They don't teach you because there is a weakness in their system that they cannot afford for you to know. In fact, it is so powerful. This information is so powerful that the people that work at the bank are not taught how a loan actually works. And if I have real estate agents in here that are watching my show or listening to it on Clubhouse here, if you have if we have real estate agents, you've never been taught how a mortgage actually works. If we have real estate brokers, it's not part of your educational system. It's not on the test how a mortgage actually works and how you can defeat this process. It's not there. If you are a CPA that graduated from the Wharton School of Business, they don't even teach how an amortization schedule works, how the bank makes their money, and how you can defeat this process. So today, if you're hearing me for the first time, you're going to learn something today. If you're hearing me for the umpteenth time, you're going to understand it a little better. You understand this each and every time you hear it. So I advise you to do this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on the P.I.L.L Method on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We are all over the place. Watch the videos. They're free and you can learn something today. All right. So let's get back to what's happening here. Let's read it. Let's read just a little bit more. Okay. You can make partial prepayments. You can pay any amount that you want. All right. Without paying any prepayment charge. There's no charge. When you have if you have a residential mortgage, you can give them that money. It's no charge. There's a lot of stuff you can do for free with no charge, no extra charge, that saves you a ton of money. Now, the third paragraph is the most powerful, and we're going to spend some time here. The note holder will use all of my prepayments. Okay. Now, Flame, Ken, Credit Goddess, if I say something that you want to chime in on, don't wait for me to stop. Just go ahead, interrupt me, and put your 2 cents in. It's very important that we have as much dialogue about this as possible. If you are in the audience and you have something to say, raise your hand, come to the stage. Don't wait for me to stop. The more people we have involved in this conversation, the better. We're going to learn a lot more. Let's read paragraph number 3. The note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. That means the amount of money that you owe, all of the money that you prepay goes to pay down the principal. And I'm telling you, when you control the principal payment, I need to make sure you get this. When you control the principal payment, you control the loan. Everybody out there, I'm talking about on CNBC, okay? CNBC, any financial show, anything that's talking about finances, everybody's talking about interest and how much it costs to borrow money. And the higher the interest rate, the more they complain. Because they don't understand how an amortization schedule works. They want you to focus on the interest rate. I'm telling you, if you control the principal payment, you control the loan, not the interest rate. I don't care about interest rate. In fact, the higher, the better for me. If I can afford the payment, you can save more money, kill more interest, pay off a loan faster at a higher interest rate than you can a lower one. Don't let people fool you on that. Understand the rules to the game. Don't let people just tell you something and you accept it as truth without knowing the rules to the game. At the P.I.L.L method, we teach you the rules to the game. All right. So if you want to know more about the rules to the game, go to ice10k.com. That's ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. We're going to be talking about that throughout the show. In fact, we're going to put it across the screen here in a minute. The note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. If I make a partial prepayment, there will be no changes in the due date or in the amount of my monthly payment, okay? Unless the note holder agrees in writing to those changes. So, for the most part, if you have a mortgage and you prepay, like I paid my mortgage on the 1st of March, I'm going to prepay a certain amount of money. That does not change the fact that I owe a payment on April 1st, and it will not change the amount of the payment. We're not talking about getting ahead by prepaying. You don't get ahead on your mortgage payment. There's no such thing as that. What we're talking about and what you're going to learn today is that if you have a mortgage for 30 years, that's 360 payments they want you to make. By learning how to prepay, you can change a 360-month schedule down to 84 months. What? Yes, 84 monthly payments, 7 years, instead of 30 years to never. This is crazy. Good morning, Carrie D. Okay, she says, could you explain how the higher interest rate is better? Thank you. Did you see that? Listen, folks, if you ask a question, you can receive an answer. And I need everybody to go to YouTube to see this because Carrie asked the question. So we're going to take this down off our screen right now. Okay. And we're going to put up Mr. Brett Whistle. Come on, Brett. Brett Whistle has a great amortization calculator that we use as a teaching tool. This is not my program, okay? And please don't go to your bank and ask for an amortization schedule. Don't go to your bank and ask them if anything that I'm telling you is true, because they don't know the answers to that. They don't know the answers, okay? They're not taught. Only the people that own the bank know the answers to your questions. So don't even bother. Just keep watching the videos or call us. And I'm going to be putting some information across the screen right now so that you can see this. All right. Where's our banners? All right. Here are our banners. Okay. Let's use this banner. Uh-oh, wrong one. Sorry. Oh, there you go. All right. P.I.L.L method. So I'm giving you the phone number. So write it down, 256-886-1867. That's 256-886-1867 for more information. It's crawling across the screen right now. And Carrie D wants to know the answer to this question. So I'm going to put in a $400,000 mortgage. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put in two. All right. This defaults at 4%, so we're going to leave it there. Okay, so there is our payment at 4%, and I'm going to do another one at 7%. Okay, I'm going to do another one at 7. Okay, 400,000. Okay, 400,000 at 7. Now, here's what you need to know. Interest rates are pretty close to 7 right now. And if you wanted to get a 4% loan, you'd have to pay for it. I mean, you'd have to pay dearly to get it. All right. So Right now, you can pay to get a 4% loan if you have enough money. You can buy a rate, but we don't suggest it. Don't do it. So let me show you why it is important for you to understand the basics of interest cancellation so that you can cancel that interest and not pay it once you understand how it's working. So let's go back to our 4% loan, Carrie. And Carrie, if you'd like to come to the stage, please raise your hand so we can bring you up. All right? Because I'm not Carrie D. Where are you? All right. Anyway, so folks, here we go. 4% loan. Here's the payment. Now we're going to break this thing down to principal and interest. Remember, control the principal payment, and you can control the loan. The whole payment on this loan is $1,909.66. So that is your full payment, $1,909.66. But when you make that payment, look at it. Look at this. They get to discount your payment by over $1,300, so that only $576.33 counts for you. Okay. All right. So, can you do one at Jaron Bean? Can you do one at 95,000 with 4%? Yeah, I'll take care of that after I show you the basics here. Okay. So, okay, this is his question. I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Yep. We'll tackle that as well. All right. So here it is. We break that thing down so that only $1,300 goes to interest, so that you're only left with $576.33 going to principal. I'm going to show you what can happen, how you can eliminate one whole line of interest. One whole line of interest. Okay. This is how you can do it. Let's just say we made a payment here in January. We make our payment in January, and February's principal payment is $578.25. So if you want to eliminate one whole line of interest and one line off your mortgage payment, then while you make your January payment, if you give them an additional $578.25, you eliminate line 2 altogether. It's gone. And this $1,331.41 in interest, you just cancel that and you never have to pay it. And you're instantly paid down to line 2. When the bank sees the month-end balance, they charge you interest based on the month-end balance, no matter what it is. You can have some control over the month-end balance. These balances are controlled by the schedule. You don't have to live your life by this schedule. They want you to, because they want you to think that you have to do this. So in other words, they wanted you, when you make your payment on the $400,000 mortgage in January, they wanted to figure your interest based on the principal payment, the principal balance on line 1. If you give them money early, we read earlier that all of this money has to go to reduce the principal. When you reduce the principal, then this is the number they have to calculate your interest on right there. The $398,845 instead of the $399,423. By doing this, you just skip right over $1,300 in interest, and now you go from payment number 1 to payment number 3 when you prepay the $578.25. Now, that's at 4%. Watch what happens at 7%. And the caveat is this: if you can afford the payment, keep your 7% loan. Don't try to buy it down to 4% if you can afford the payment. Okay. So here's 7%. Remember, control the principal payment and you control the loan. Let's take a look at 7%. The payment on the 7% loan is $2,661, $2,661 and 21 cents. But when you break that down, look, $300 principal payments. The principal payments are smaller. What? Control the principal payment and you control the loan. So if I want to get rid of line 2, all I have to do is come up with $329.79 now. What? Yeah, a lot smaller amount. $329.79 gets rid of an interest payment. So Don, but look at the interest payments. They want me to, I can feel people screaming at the screen. Look at that interest payment, $2,331, as opposed to the 4% is only $1,331.41. It's almost $1,000 more at 7%. Keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. You control the loan with the principal payment. Interest payments you skip don't matter. If you can skip them, I don't care how big they are. All right. For instance, if you have a credit card that's 9 or 10% interest, you're probably feeling pretty good about that. But if I make a purchase on a credit card that's 35%, if I make a purchase on a credit card that's 35%, the bank wants a certain amount of interest on that if I wait until it's due. If you pay it off before it's due, if you pay your credit card off before it's due, how much interest do you pay, ladies and gentlemen? I want somebody to put it in the chat. How much interest do you pay on a credit card if you pay it off before it's due?
Zero.
So does it matter if it's 10%? Does it matter if it's 25%? Does it matter if it's 35%? Does it matter even if your credit card interest is 50%? Does it matter if you pay it off before it's due? I don't care what the interest rate is. Okay. How are you doing, Miss Kiara? Did you have a question or a comment?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here because by you being on the stage, other people are going to come in because you're here. So if you have one, interrupt me. All right. Interrupt me at any time. It says, even somebody asked a question here, even if it's a business credit card, listen, pay it off before it's due. You don't pay the interest. Period. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind, even if it's a business credit card. All right. So that you understand that this same idea applies to the mortgage. I don't care if these interest payments are $2,331. Let me show you something that's very interesting. If you add up all the principal payments for 1 year, it comes to $4,063.23. If the interest rate is 7%, okay? The interest rate is 7%. All the principal payments add up to $4,000. And look how much interest they want you to pay your loan down by $4,000. They want you to give them another $27,800 in interest. That's if you don't know how to read it. They're hoping you never find out. Okay. So if I give them this money, because it's all based on my smaller principal payments, I add up all the principal payments, it comes to $4,000. So let's just pretend I have an extra $4,000 in the bank. Okay. Do I have to give my mortgage company this $4,000 in 12 monthly installments? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? Do I have to give it to them in 12 monthly installments? Or can I give it to them all at once? If I give it to them all at once, I'm paid down to line 12 immediately. Okay. I'm paid down to line 12 immediately. In fact, I can take off 11 payments. If I prepay the $4,000, I can take off 11 payments that I never have to pay. And all the interest I just skipped is from line 2 to line 12. I just skipped right over it with an extra $4,000. When I lower the interest rate, let me show you what paying an extra $4,000 can do for you at the 4% loan. Yeah, it only takes you down to line 7. Look at that. Because the principal payments are much higher, but the interest payments are much smaller. Look at that. So let me control the principal payment and I control the loan. And I can skip over the huge interest payments that the bank wants me to pay. In fact, all of this is designed to get you to focus more on getting a smaller. Everything we do is oriented towards let's get the smallest interest rate we possibly can. Now, Flame will tell you, Credit Goddess will tell you that you want to get your credit profile is more important than your credit score. Everybody wants to get a high credit score so that they can get a lower interest rate. People like Credit Goddess and Flame want you to have a great credit profile so that you can get funded, meaning the loan that you apply for, you want to be able to receive. That's more important. Your credit profile is more important than the credit score. Okay? Remember that. Okay? Remember that. So I'm not saying the credit score is not part of it, but most people, have been turned down for a loan and they have an 800 credit score, but they've been turned down. There's something going on with their credit profile that's not right. So get some help from an expert. People want a high credit score so that they can get a low interest rate. The lower the interest rate, the harder it is to pay off the loan faster and cheaper. I think we just showed you that. So one of the things that you want to do to learn how to cancel interest is control your interest, your principal payment. I believe your name is pronounced Jern Bean says, can you do one at 95? Now, is this a mortgage? Jern, is this a mortgage? That's a yes or no. Put it in the chat. And we'll change this to $95,000. And is it a 30-year loan? Okay. I'm going to change it to $95,000 for 30 years. Okay. $95,000 for 30 years. Okay. There we go. Uh-oh. Take out a 0. Yep. He says it's a 30-year. And he says the interest rate is at 4%. Here's what this looks like. Okay. And we're going to use this example that you gave us, sir, on how to cancel interest on this loan. Your principal and interest payment is $453.54. That's just the principal and interest. This does not include taxes and insurance. Okay. So, in fact, if I can opt out of taxes and insurance, which is called escrow, if you have a mortgage, if you can opt out of escrow, do it. There's a way to save even more interest if you pay your taxes and insurance on your own. If you want to know more about that, go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com. If you want to know more about how to cancel interest and cut and pay off your loans in 7 to 9 years, and not just your mortgage, but everything. So we're going to change this banner now to ice10k.com. So you need and get a free savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com and get a free savings and earnings report. So thank you for this example, sir. So we're going to put this on the screen. Here's the payment. Now, $95,000. I need you to see the summary on this. At 4% really means they want you to pay back $68,274.40 in interest. That's really 71.868% of what you borrowed. So a 4% loan is really a 71.8% loan, almost 72%. So, Jern Bean, are you interested in giving the bank almost 72% of the money you borrowed? Do you want to give them all of that interest money, that $68,000? Do you want to give that to them? All right. Nobody does. Let's show you how this breaks down. He said no. Okay. So when you make your payment, they get to discount your payment by $316. What? It goes up in smoke. You're working hard to make your mortgage payment, okay? A mortgage payment of $453.54. Let me write that down. $453, okay? $453. And when you make it, they get to discount it by $316.67. Now, I'm going to use your example to ask some questions here, Jern Bean. So, who is this? It says, they said, who is this? It says, nope, hell no, don't want to pay all that. Okay, don't want to pay that. All right. So, let me ask you, if there was a way for you to understand how they can charge you all of that interest, do you want to know? Who wants to know how they can take 4% and change it into 71%? Who wants to learn the simple math that they're using to get this done? Who wants to learn? Okay. Do you want to know? Put a number 7 in the chat if you want me to show you how they can discount your payment by over $300. Okay. All right. Ken is putting a 7 in it. Jern says, I do. Okay. Now get your calculators out, everybody. I need you to get your calculators out to do this with me. All right. So, if you got $95,000 at 4%, let me put my calculator on the screen so I can do it with you. So let's put my calculator on the screen. We're going to show you what they're doing so that you don't have to. You don't have to do this. You don't have to pay it their way. This is a suggestion. So you take your 4% interest, that's 0.04, okay? Or you can put a 4 in and click the percent key. Either way, 0.04, and then take this and divide it by 12. This is what they're doing every single month. Divide this by 12. You get 0.03333. This is the number they use to multiply by your unpaid balance every single month. Yeah, 1/12 of the interest rate is what they're using. So if you have $95,000, they take this number, multiply it by 95,000. Let's do that. Multiply by 95,000 equals $316.66667. Okay. So since this third number is a 6, it's 5 or greater, then this second number is rounded up to a 7, or $316.67 should be the first interest payment. Let's go and see. Okay, scroll down to look at that. $316.67. Wow. Just like we figured. So, is it $316 interest? Yeah. So that is this actually the discount. We've been taught to call it interest. Okay. But when you pay the money, they receive the entire payment of $453. Whoever you're paying it to receives all $453, but they get to discount that payment by $316. So only $136.87 counts to pay down the mortgage. So if they can keep discounting your payments and you're paying back your mortgage with only $137 here, $138, that's why it takes 30 years to pay off the loan, because of all the discounts. They're discounting your payment. Now I'm going to show you by how much they're discounting your payment. So take the first interest payment. Take the first interest payment. That would be $316.67. And then we're going to divide it by your entire payment. Okay. So your entire payment is $453.54. So we're going to divide it by 453.54 equals 0.698. So we got to round that up to 70%, which means when you make a payment, 70% of your payment is discounted and they get to call it interest. 70%. Or look at it this way. Every time you make a payment, every dollar, they discount every single dollar you give them by 70 cents out of every dollar. And only 30 cents out of every dollar pays down the mortgage. That's the system we're in. How fair is that? You're providing yourself a home for your families, and they get to discount your payment by 70 to 80% in the beginning. How fair is that, everybody? That's what's happening here. 70 cents out of every dollar. So you paying down your mortgage with 30 cents out of all the dollars you give them. That is crazy. But I'm going to teach you how to turn that around. How would you like to learn how Rochelle Ladson says, wow, look at Rochelle watching us on Facebook. Rochelle says, wow. Okay. Didn't know that. So what we're going to show you is how to turn that around so that you can take 30%, pay it, and save 70%. Let's show you how to discount their interest payment. How would you like to know that? How would you like to learn how you can get the discount instead? Sojourn, here's what we're looking at. If you make a payment here and you eat this first one, okay? You eat this one, $136.87 goes to is left out of the discounted payment to go to principal, and you're left with $94,863.13. And what they're going to do is use this number, okay? Okay, they're going to use this number here to figure out how much interest you would owe on line 2. So how do we do that? We just do the same thing again. We take 0.04, okay, 0.04, divide it by 12. There you go. And then multiply it by the money on line 1 of your schedule. Okay, that would be times 94,863.13, 0.13 cents. There you go. Equals 316 and 21 cents. That's exactly what you have here. $316.21. So that's what they want to do. Okay. They want to see when you make your payment at the end of the month, they want to see this $94,000, $94,863.13, so that they can charge you $316.21. They want to discount your payment by that much. But if you do something as simple as this, now this is not my program. I'm just explaining to you how you can beat an amortization schedule. There is a much more powerful way to beat an amortization schedule, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But if you make this payment in the first month, we'll call it January, and take a look at the principal payment they want you to be left with in February, what if you give them that $137.33 early? What if you pay that on top of your mortgage payment early? You give your mortgage payment in January, and then you give them the $137.33 that they wanted to leave you with in February. You give it to them early. You're paid down to line 2 in January. Now they have to use this number to calculate your interest, not this number. So let's do it. So if we're paid down to line 2 in January, then this is what it looks like. Our 4% interest divided by 12 multiplied by the principal balance on line 2, 94,000, 725 and 80 cents equals 315.75. You drop down to line 3 immediately, and all you did was give them an extra $137.33 early. It makes it impossible. It makes it impossible for them to charge you the $316.21. You skip right over that. You save that money. That is what we're talking about. Catherine Chance, I see you. I see you. Okay, watching us on YouTube, says, I'd love to learn that, and you just did. All right, all right. Keep commenting, keep asking questions. All right, keep commenting, keep asking questions. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can actually come into the studio, pull up your computer. I'm going to give you a link that you can go on your computer. And if you put it into Chrome, you can actually come in live and talk to us here on our show today. How would you, you're in the studio audience, how'd you like to come into the show? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that. We're going to invite you, invite you to come into the show today. And all right, let me get that so we can invite you in. Okay, so there it is. Copy. I'm putting it in the chat section, in the comment section. There it is. Okay. So if you use this link here that we're sending out to you, okay, there it is. That's our StreamYard link. Put it in your browser in Chrome. And then it says, when it says, do you want to go back to YouTube? Don't do that. Okay. Go to StreamYard, and it will let you into the studio. And then I'll let you come in, and then we can talk together. All right. And you can ask your questions, and you don't have to type. All right. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's take a look at this thing more. Okay. So if you make a payment here, every time you give them some money, they have to skip over payments and skip over interest payments. So if you made Jern Bean, if you made this payment in January and you looked at this amortization schedule, what if you gave them the next three principal payments? $137.33, $137.79, and $138.25. What if you gave them all three in the same month? Do you realize you knock off this interest payment, this interest payment, and this interest payment, and your next mortgage payment for February is now on line 5 of your amortization schedule? Did you know that? So when people say double up on your mortgage payment, we kept thinking, you mean the entire mortgage payment? Who has that kind of money? But to double up on the payment really means how much principal is the bank looking for in the next month, and pay that. That's what doubling up means. This is here, look at this. I can make 3 of these if I have that money and save almost $1,000 in interest I never have to pay. Look at that, over $900 in interest eliminated and 3 payments gone off your schedule. That's how you cancel interest. That's how you cancel payments. That's how you get way ahead of the bank. Okay? I see you with your hand raised, Jern Bean. I see that. So wait, so you cancel the interest when you double or triple up on your mortgage payment? Not the mortgage payment, sweetie. Not the mortgage payment, just the principal payment. Just the principal part. Look at that. Not the whole payment, just the principal part. If you add up all the principal payments on this $95,000 mortgage, add up all the principal payments for 1 year, it comes to $1,672.93. Okay, look at that. So if we pull up our calculator again, okay, our full payment here, payment is $453.54. Okay, $453 and 54 cents, and we multiply that by 12. This is how much money you pay out in a year: $5,442.48. The way that they want you to do this is they want you to pay them exactly $5,442.48. They want you to pay that exactly, but they want to discount your $5,400 by $37.69.55, $3,769.55, which leaves you only $1,672 to pay down your mortgage. Isn't that crazy? And it's legal, but nobody ever explained it to us. Nobody. But if you want to cancel it, what if you did the math and said, you know what? If I give them this money early, I make it impossible for them to charge me all of that interest. So if you give this to them early, let's do the math. I'm just, I want people to know that I'm just not making stuff up. I'm going to prove to you what's going on. We have $95,000. And if we subtract the $1,672.93 all at once, not over 12 payments, but all at once. So let's subtract $1,672.93. It equals 93,327.07. That's exactly what you have here. So you can give that to them on line 1 and be paid down to line 12 in 1 month. And guess what you do when you do that? You skip over all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. So instead of them discounting your money by over $3,700, you get to pay your loan down to right here. If you give them this money early, if you give it to them all at once, you get to pay down here in 1 month. And all the interest you pay is $316.67. instead of $3,769.55. Which would you rather pay? If I'm going to give the bank $1,600, I don't want to give them $3,700 in interest. I would much rather give them $316.67. So, folks, if you want to know, so some of you have mortgages right now, and I'm going to take a little break. I need to get a drink of water. So I'm going to show you a video of of Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher, okay, who used our system to pay down his mortgage early. Okay. If you want to know more about that, I'll show you how to get a free savings report so that you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. So in the meantime, let's listen to Dr. Eric Thomas tell you about his mortgage situation.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
What do you guys think about that? Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, paid off his mortgage in short order and saved thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in interest. He never had to pay the bank. So he can take that money and invest it later. Oh my gosh. So if you want to know more about that, here's what you do. Go to ice10k.com. I'm going to put it on the screen for you. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com, and it will take you here. All right. And the first picture you see is Dr. Eric Thomas. And you get to watch that video all over again. Scroll down underneath this picture. Click on Let's Connect. You know, you can send me your information. All right. So we can connect. If you click that, I'll send you send me your cell phone number and stuff, and I'll send you mine. All right. We can connect that way and stay in touch. All right. But underneath that, click on Get Your Savings and Earnings Report. Get your savings and earnings report. It's free. When you click on that button, here's what it says. Don't waste another dollar paying off the wrong debt. Get your free savings report. Fill out step 1, and then click Yes, I want to save, and that will take you to the financial page. Fill that out and click Submit. My team will get that information. They will give you a call at the appointed time because you're going to tell us when to call you. We'll call you at the appointed time and confirm all the data, making sure it's correct. And then we'll produce your savings and earnings report. All right. And then if you want to find out how you can use our AI system to make sure you pay the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible, then my team will set you up with a consultation with me. It's only $150, and we guarantee the $150. Guarantee, what does that mean? If you don't like the information, if you don't think it's worth $150, you just say so while you're on the phone, and we send it right back before we hang up. That's how confident we are that this information is going to be valuable to you. Okay? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's apps. If you have a mortgage, if you have student loans, if you have credit cards, if you have all of this debt and you're tired of them discounting your payments, okay? You're tired of them taking your money, all right? Then do something about it. Get a savings and earnings report and find out how much interest you can save with your current budget. You don't need more money to get out of debt, ladies and gentlemen. You just need to pay less interest. Discount those payments, discount that interest by 75%. Keep that money for yourself. The way that they do this, it's not mandatory. You are in control of how much interest you pay. Okay. Look at here, Joyce. All right, I see you. All right. So listen, if you have a mortgage, take advantage of this information and save yourself some money. That's all I'm saying. I want you to know that how they've been doing this for years. We should have learned this back in junior high, back in middle school. They should start teaching this. When I teach this to 8th graders, they get it right away. Do you know why they get it right away? Because they don't already know and they don't already believe you have to pay that interest. When I show them how much interest their parents are paying, they say, who would actually do that? Who would give away all of that money so that it doesn't even count for you? That's how they look at it. And that's how I need you to look at it, like an 8th grader. 8th graders get it. So if they can learn this in 8th grade, you can certainly learn it now. But here's the problem. 8th graders don't have to unlearn the wrong way. They just learn the right way from the beginning. The challenge for you is that you have to unlearn the old way. And do you know, for some people, that causes them a problem. That causes them physical pain to try to go against everything they've ever been taught to do something new. And it's scary for some. And for some people, to get rid of that fear, to get rid of that feeling, they choose to keep doing what they've always done. Keep giving that money to the bank, giving them 75% more than they need to pay. Okay? So Rochelle says, get smart with your money. Come on, Rochelle. I see you there on Facebook. All right. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. And also, Rochelle, would you go to YouTube, please, and subscribe? All right. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and I need you all to help me to get there. Okay. We're almost there. We're not quite there, but we can help. Let me see here. Creative Barber says, I'm interested to know how to learn this. Thank you for sharing. All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So, here's another question. Make sure you say principal or they put it on interest. No, they cannot put it on interest at all. All right. I see Catherine Chance came into the studio. Catherine, you're here. Can I bring you into the studio now? Shake your head. Here she goes. There she is. Listen, we don't know each other, but she decided to take advantage of this. Make sure you unmute your mic. All right. Let me change my thing around here. Let me change this around. All right, so there we go. There you go. Pull down your count. Oh, there you go. All right. Tell us who you are and why you're here today.
Oh my. So first, can I say that I did not know I was going to be on camera. I just thought I was coming into a studio where you could ask me questions and I could answer.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. Come on.
So I'm Catherine Chance. I am 61 years young. And in 2012, I bought my first home ever. And I had no idea what I was getting into. Since that time, I've lost 2 jobs. And one time I had to, I don't know if it's called refinance or something, but I had to start all over again after paying into my mortgage for a good number of years. I want to say probably about between 7 and 9 years I had paid into my mortgage. But to not lose my house, I
Okay.
had,
So
you know,
let me stop. Let me stop you right there. I think that you call it a modification.
yes, it was a
They
modification.
modified your loan. Okay.
Yep.
Modification. Okay. Listen. Oh boy, I'm glad you're here today because I'm going to show you how to beat that modification up. But keep going.
Well, you know what? That's exactly, I have a hunger now to beat it up because I owe myself for the amount of money I lost in doing that. I owe myself to pay this one down as quickly as possible and to tear into all that interest.
I am so glad. So I'm going to ask you some. I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay.
Okay.
So, Catherine, when people get a modification, did they lower your payment significantly? Was your payment lowered?
No.
Okay. So they just gave you some time and then maybe um, put some of the payments that you missed on the back end.
Yes.
Okay. So let me say, so sometimes when people get a modification, they end up with a 40-year loan.
Hmm.
So if you did, actually, that's a good thing. But if your payment didn't change from before you hit that rough patch and then after the rough patch, now, did you have to make 3 trial payments?
Yes.
Okay, that's a modification. Okay, so that's a modification, but your payment stayed the same as it was before. Your interest
Actually,
rates. Go
actually, it
ahead.
went up. My payments went up.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not, I think that has more to do with the taxes here.
Yeah, the taxes and insurance. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So, but right after that, so we're gonna help you to determine if you can let me know how much your principal and interest payment is. Is it possible for you to find a statement and look at your principal and interest, and we can add it up, and I can put. And if you want to share this on the screen, you can. You don't have to, or we can talk in private if you want. But I will answer any question you want about this. Talk to me.
I'm trying to see if I can bring it up. I don't
Okay.
have a statement close to me.
Okay.
I would have to go rustle through some papers,
Oh no.
unfortunately.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I could ask some questions. So you tell me what you want to know, and I'll help you to figure it out. What is it that you would like to know today?
Okay, so looking at the amortization schedule for your own, like, is that something we would need to create for ourselves? Because previously, before seeing this, I was under the misunderstanding because my bank says, like, if I want to do, and they termed it accurately, but I still didn't understand what they were saying. If I wanted to do payments, they would only accept full payments. Like it would have to equal my mortgage. So even if I wanted to like pay it biweekly, if I paid, and my mortgage is about 1430 and 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I sent in 700, they would not apply that until they got the other $730.10. So I was under the misunderstanding that I couldn't prepay unless I had a full month's mortgage payment.
And that is true. You have to pay the full month's mortgage payment first before you can put an extra dime on principal. Now, this is the thing when people get into doing a what's called a biweekly payment. They actually think that that first payment, half the payment, is actually saving them money, and it's not.
Right.
They
Exactly.
they 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 hold on to it until you send them the second one. So now you're saying, well, then why does a biweekly payment work? Do you want to know how it works?
You make one extra payment a year.
Yep. So every 6 months, you're going to make a payment around the 1st, around the 15th, and a third one around the 30th. So that third one is actually the one that gets applied to principal. That third payment. And so before your payment is due again on the 1st. So every 6 months, you make an extra half payment, which adds up to one full payment a year. That's 13 payments a year, and that will save you about 7 years off your mortgage, off a 30-year mortgage. Okay?
That's better than nothing.
That's better than nothing. But how would you like to pay off in 7 years
Oh
instead
my
of just
goodness.
say it's just instead of saving 7?
Do I need to get 2 jobs?
Okay. Now, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because I said it before. You don't need more money to manage your debt. You just need to pay less interest. And we're going to show you how to do that. That is the whole focus on this. I need you to think of this as an 8th grader seeing it for the first time. An 8th grader would say, why do I have to pay all that interest? Why don't I just not pay that? We show you how not to pay that. So you don't need more money. So what if you could, using the budget you have now, pay less interest so that you can pay the loan off faster, but you don't need to make more money?
I would definitely do that.
You would definitely do that. So there's
definitely
nothing that would keep from going to my website or the ice10k.com and get a free savings report. That way you can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free. Okay, so you can go to either ice10k.com or P.I.L.Method.com and click on the button that says get a free savings report. Okay, and fill out that information and you get it for free. So is there anything about your mortgage right now that you would like to share with us or you would like me to teach you right now?
That's a funny question. If there's anything about my mortgage that I would like you to teach me right now, like, I don't know what I don't know. So
okay. Oh, do you know? Listen, that is great because do you know how many people you help just now with that? We don't know what we don't know. We assume, after all of these years, we assume that everything that we needed to know about mortgage was already out there. Have you ever seen it broken down like this before?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never, learned it.
Okay, so let's take a look at, do you remember the original amount of your mortgage? It doesn't have to be exact.
Approximately 155.
Approximately 155. Do you mind if I put it on the screen?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to put that on the screen. All right, we're going to change up our configuration. All right. Now, 155,000. Do you remember what your interest rate was?
It was about 4.
About 4%. Okay. So 360 payments. And we'll calculate that. And that means your principal and interest payment right around $740. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So when we're going to go right down the line, when you closed on this loan, they had to show you, but they didn't have to explain it. Okay. How much interest do they want you to pay over 30 years on 155,000? $111,000.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. But we're so focused on getting the house and we're thinking this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have $155,000. So I just get the house. I can make the payment. But here is a new term. Interest consumption. How much interest am I actually consuming each month to get this house? Okay. So the interest that they want you to consume or the interest payments, you don't have to make. So now this is what they want, which means the amount of interest actually comes to 71%, almost 72% of what you borrowed. 4% really means 71.869%. Look at that. That's what it really means.
It means that they have legalized criminalization.
Come on now. That's what it means. That's what I'm talking about. Catherine, you are making the show today. All right. So, oh, by the way, Catherine, I need you to take down our phone number before I forget because things just go so fast. Okay.
Okay.
Our main phone number is 256
Mhm.
886 1867.
256-886-1867.
Yeah, right here in Huntsville, Alabama. What part of the country are you in?
I am in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. So 256-886-1867. And you'll be talking with Teresa and tell her that I said I'm going to send you one of my books for free because you're helping us this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a $50 value on Amazon, but you get it for free.
Amen.
Okay.
God is good.
All right. So there you go. So here's how your payments are being discounted right now. When you get down to that very first payment, they discount your payment of $739.99. $739.99. Let me make a note of that. By $516.16. So we are taught to visualize when I make a payment, some money goes to principal and some goes to interest somewhere. No, your whole $739.99 goes to whoever bought your mortgage. So when you got your mortgage, within a week or two, it was sold. It was sold to an investor. When you pay, all $739.99 went to that investor. But they get to discount your payment by like 70%. And this doesn't count for you. Only this much counts for you, which means if you're trying to pay back $155,000, but you're doing it with $200 payments, it's going to take you much longer, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And that's what they're counting on. Okay. So the person that bought the company or person that bought your mortgage is counting on the fact that you have to pay them almost $9,000 in 1 year, but only $2,700 counts to pay down the loan. So send me $9,000, but only $2,700 counts for you. So you have to keep paying. How about that? Now, here's what I want you to do. Okay, Miss Catherine. I want you to pretend that you're selling your house. Okay.
Okay.
And it's called seller financing. Did you know you can become your own bank? You can sell your house and call it seller financing so that they have to pay you every single month. And they can pay you like this. It's called seller financing. Okay.
Okay.
So now we're going to take a look at this because they can't get a 4% loan now. All right. It's going to be closer to 7%. So let's just say, how much do you know about how much your house is worth right now?
Right now, easily I could say 225.
There you go. So we're going to put in 225. Okay. And we're okay. Let's call it 6.5%, 6.5. So we're between.
It's because we want to be nice.
Okay, 6.5, between 6.5 and 7. All right. And now they're sending you $1,422.15 every month. Okay. They have to pay their own, they're paying the taxes and insurance now, but you get this every single month. How do you like that so far?
I like it so far, but does that mean I don't have my house?
Well, this is just an example. You don't have your house. You have a different house. Okay. We're just pretending. We're just pretending.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take a look at this now. All right. So you signed up an agreement that they have to pay you 225,000, but by the time it's all said and done, okay, they have to pay you 286,974 in interest. How's that sound?
That's just interest alone?
That's just the interest.
Gee, me Christmas. Okay.
Total amount is 511,974. So for your $225,000 house, they're supposed to pay you 511,000 for it, almost 512,000. You feeling pretty good now?
I am.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
feeling like the banks feel. when
there
they
you
get my
go.
mortgage payment.
There you go. There you go. So now that is 127.5%.
Shoot.
So you're feeling differently about it now, right?
Yes.
So in the first month, they pay a whole 1422.15. Okay, I got to put my 1422.15. Okay, they send all of that to you, don't they?
Yes.
Okay, but because of the amortization schedule, you get to discount $1,200 of that. So only $203.40 of their money pays down the loan. Do you like that?
I love it. I love it.
Okay. You love it. So every single month they make a payment, they're only left with this much. Okay? And you get to discount it by this much every month. So in the first year, okay, I'm putting my calculator on the screen. The payment is 1422.15 times 12. How much money did they pay you in the first year? $17,000. But how much of that money goes to pay down the loan? Only $2,500.
Wow.
Here's how much interest you made. $14,000 in the first year. That's why they have to keep on paying you. All right. So now you're getting this, but now they see what you're seeing now. They go to the P.I.L.L method. And they're learning how to prepay. Okay. So they make this first payment in January, and then they give you an extra $204.50, which means they're paid down to here, which means they skip right over this $1,200 you were supposed to discount. Now, how are you feeling about it?
I'm losing income from interest, not
look,
gain.
wow. So let's go all the way down. So in 1 year, they're supposed to give you $25,1483, aren't they?
Right.
But what if they give it to you all at once on line one? They have to subtract it from your original amount. They're paid down to here in 1 month if they give you all of this in 1 month, don't they?
Wow. Yeah.
So that means here's the interest you will receive, $1,218.75 on line one. They're paid down to here in 1 month. Instead of you getting $14,000 in interest,
50,000, yeah.
you get $1,200 in interest, and their next mortgage payment is on line 13. How do you feel about that?
Not too good.
Okay. Do you see why now they don't want you to know how this works?
Yes.
Okay. I hope this makes the proper impression on this for you.
It does indeed. It does.
So let's stop giving the bank all that money and learn how to get the discount. Learn how to give them money when they're not expecting it, even as much as $204.50 saves $1,200. But what if I don't have? Do you have a calculator handy? Because I need you to do a little experiment with me today. Okay, we're talking about canceling interest today, everybody. I see you, Rochelle Latson. Okay. She says, I'm learning a lot here today. Okay. So in your calculator, Miss Catherine Chance, you're going to put in this amount, 1217.65, 1,217.65. Okay. And in my calculator, I'm going to put in the principal payment. Okay. All right. So we're going to delete that and we're going to put in 204.50. Okay. Cancel that. All right. 204.50. So if I prepay the 204.50, I don't have to pay the 1217.65. I get to save that. Does that make sense to you? Okay. But what if I don't have 204.50? What if I have half that? So I'm going to divide mine by 2. I only have 102.25. So I'm going to save half the interest now. So you divide yours by 2. But keep it on the screen. Don't get rid of it. So how much interest am I saving now? You're muted somehow. I can't hear you. Uh-oh, something happened. Try to unmute again. All right. We're not hearing you. If you're hearing me, you may have to go out and come back in. But okay. So let me take you out of the studio. And bring you back in. All right, try that. Oh, still can't hear you. You may have to leave and go back. But anyway, you're left. You just shake your head. Are you left with half the interest? About $600? Okay. So is it still worth it? Okay. So if I divide mine by 2 again, okay, equals, I got $51.12, 13 cents. You divide yours by 2 again, okay? Now you have about $300 in interest that you're saving, right? Still worth it. You don't need a lot of money to save a lot of interest, do you? I'm going to divide mine by 2 again. Now I only have $25. Okay. I multiplied it by 2. Hold on. Divided by 2. Okay. Got $51.12. Then I'm going to divide mine by 2 again. Divide it by 2. I got $25. So you have about what? 100, is it $150 or $300? Do you have? About $150, okay? So $25 can save you $150 in interest. So you don't need a lot of money here. So you were thinking you had to go out and get 3 jobs. You don't. Keep your one job and just kill the interest with the amount of money you have. So does that make you $25 seem like it's going to work harder for you now? How about that? I'm going to do this. Let's do a couple more times. So, we'll divide this by 2 again. I only have $12. So that means that $12.78 is going to save me about $75. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So this is what I need you to learn. By using our system says whatever money you have available, we're going to use that to kill the maximum amount of interest per dollar. And we're not going to do it every month. Anytime there's money left over in your budget, because we're going to be tracking your entire budget, we're going to be putting the extra money in a savings account. When it builds up to a certain amount, then the program is going to say, take the least amount out of that savings account and put it on principal. And we're going to calculate how much interest you're going to kill. And that's going to be every 2 to 4 months. So it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing because you're getting to do everything that you have always been doing going on vacation, going out to eat, but we're going to be tracking all your expenditures from now on. And any money left over, we put in a savings account and we kill the debt from savings. We don't take money from your fund. How does that sound? Okay. She says, I like that. I like that, even though we can't hear you. I don't know, but I would like to hear you. I'm going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a testimonial, right? And I would love it if you could go out and come back in, just, and then for some reason your computer changed your settings and we can't hear you anymore, but I would love for you to come back in after, and we can talk a little bit more after this testimonial. So folks, I need you to watch this. This is a young couple I met soon after they came out of college. All right. And in just 6.5 years, they paid off their mortgage. He's a real estate investor. I'm not a real estate investor. He is a real estate agent, and she's a teacher. So they weren't making a whole lot of money at the time. But here we go. Watch this.
It seems foreign at first. Like, you know the interest is there and you know it exists, but you just don't completely grasp how many tens of thousands of dollars that you're paying in interest when you don't have to.
No way. That was my reaction. Like 30-year mortgage and, 5 years, 6 years, no way.
So here we are, 6.5 years later, just finished a 30-year mortgage payoff, and some of those same friends are coming back to us that were skeptical at first, saying, now, what was this about again?
They're like, really? You're only 30 years old. You're supposed to be paying on that for a long, long time.
And going through business classes through college and understanding economics and managerial finance and how to operate small businesses, we understand we have debt, we have interest that goes along with that debt. But we just didn't understand how our amortization schedule was set up and how much interest we're actually spending. We didn't initially have the understanding because we haven't been taught this way before. Take a $5 cup of coffee. When you take that $5 and actually look at your debt and your amortization and how much you're spending in interest, really $5 could eliminate about $35 worth of interest. So the $5 cup of coffee is not a $5 cup of coffee. It's a $35 cup of coffee.
It took me a few tries to actually get it. He explained it to me maybe 2 or 3 times, and I thought, okay, I don't know. I'll have to see this for myself.
Changing the word penalty to a cost benefit. The word penalty, it makes you feel like you've done something wrong. No one wants to pay a penalty or pay a fine for something. That's the question you have to ask yourself. How much is it actually costing me to pay down my debt? You're sitting there trying to look at it way too deeply, and you're looking for that catch. You say, okay, it sounds too good to be true. What am I missing? Finally clicked and the light bulb went off. We said, oh yeah, the catch is there is no catch. It really is that simple.
Every time you log in, you see that date of your complete debt payoff. That's my favorite part to see.
When you log into it and you're looking at that dashboard, you have different ways that will open up your eyes to motivating you even harder to pay off that debt. I know it's put us in a better position where we can provide a better future for our child and being able to enjoy some things in life and travel more.
I'm just super excited to be so young and to say we've paid off our mortgage and we can free up all this money to use for giving to others, there's all kinds of things that we can do. That's sort of been our financial goal at the beginning. We started in Honduras. The people there just took our hearts. We've been keeping in contact with them ever since then, which was maybe, 7 or 8 years ago.
They contacted us through Facebook and they said, we don't know what we're going to do, because the cancer treatments are just beyond reach for us. Because of the P.I.L.L method, when somebody who's devastated over a $600 cancer treatment that they can't afford, which we can't imagine it's even that low, we sit here and we say, Well, yeah, here's money to get the cancer treatments done. We're not only putting our child in a better financial future, but we're also teaching her how to manage the money. And it's not that we have a magical program. You still have to have discipline, and it's life concepts that we all need to pay attention to. Say hi.
You are so silly.
In my career as a real estate agent, this technology has been phenomenal for the clients that I work with on a day-to-day basis. I've been around real estate literally my entire life with our family-owned real estate company, and some of our clients that we sat down with and were forced to sell because they got laid off from their jobs, they had hours cut back, they had to look for work in other parts of the country. And we looked at selling their property, and they said, we literally have nothing to show for our time here. We've been paying our monthly payments month after month like clockwork, and we're literally gonna have to pay someone to buy our home from us. And it was so frustrating to have this conversation and their reaction to where they were, that if they had been on a program like the P.I.L.L method, in just as little as a couple of years, you can put yourself into having rapid equity growth, even in a declining market. A lot of friends and clients that I've talked to say, well, we can put extra money on the principal of our mortgage, paying off our smallest debts and working our way up to our largest debt and pay it off, just as quick ourselves. I use the analogy of, following a GPS. And it may pull up 3 or 4 different routes. They all get you to your destination, but the P.I.L.L method is just way more effective. It eliminates literally tens of thousands of dollars in interest that we were going to have to pay doing it the other way. But the technology that backs up this program is just phenomenal. It's finally sinking in, I think, to some of our friends and families and clients that we work with, because we're sort of walking testimonies that it works.
I think that it should be taught in schools, really, but the banks might not be too happy about that because they like those interest payments coming in.
What's interesting is that one of our most reputable lenders that we work with here in this area, her and her husband actually joined the P.I.L.L method program just a few years ago. If more people caught on to this program and this technology, it would drastically boost the real estate growth here in our area. Her and her husband, they looked at the numbers and said, a refinance is not going to benefit us from where we are. The P.I.L.L method is the plan that we need to put into our lives.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was some good stuff. So we got this, Catherine. So go ahead and unmute, Catherine. Let's see if we can hear you now. All right. Are you back? Okay, I think I hear you. Say something.
I was talking. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Wonderful.
All right. So there you are. You're back. So have you learned anything from this so far? I mean, is this encouraging or what? Tell me about it.
It definitely is. It's that ray of hope, that shining light in a silver cloud that you didn't know existed.
Right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to know more, do like Catherine's getting ready to do. Get a savings and earnings report. The Rosenblum family started out with a savings report, and they paid off that first house in 6.5 years. You know what they did? They paid that off. They put a renter in it and bought another house. Paid that one off, put a renter in that one and bought another house. They're paying off their fourth house on this program. Where 9 out of 10 people that you've ever met will never pay off one. So, folks, get your savings and earnings report. Go to pillmethod.com or ice10k.com, either one, and click on that link to get a savings and earnings report and learn how to cancel interest like a champ. Okay. The program will teach you. Listen, go ahead. Got another question?
I have a disclaimer.
Yes.
I am not a paid testimonial. This is real in real life, in real time.
We've never met, have we?
Never.
Listen, folks, I get to meet people from all over the world. Our business is international, and I love the internet because, do you know, I haven't met anybody in any country that understands how this works. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So Aaron just said number 9. All right. Aaron wants to know more about it. All right. Thank you, Aaron, for being here. All right. So listen, we're learning a lot here today, ladies and gentlemen, on what it means to cancel interest that people are suggesting that you pay. And it is a suggestion. We just get in the habit of doing it. And it seems like that's the thing to do. Okay. So what we found out is that when we call it interest consumption, how much interest we're consuming every month. Did you know the average family has about 13 different debts? Even at one time. And they're paying 35 to 39% of their income just in interest payments alone. Even if they're doing well financially, they're still paying like that. But guess what? How well could they do if they could cut that by 75%? All right. You get to still own the house. You still get to pay for your education. You still get to pay for the car, but you could be out of debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. Okay. So Rochelle says, get rid of credit card debt. Okay. She wants to get rid of credit card debt. So Rochelle, I'm going to tell you, here's what I love. I love managing credit card debt. I love managing paying a lot less. Can I show you all something about what it means to have an effective interest rate? Effective interest rate, not the interest rate that the bank wants, but the interest rate you can create for yourself. Okay. So I'm going to put some things on the screen here. Let me see here. Let me take this off. I'm going to put some things on the screen here where we can learn how to control our own interest rate. How about that? So we got this. I'm going to put this on and this one and this one. We're just going to do 3. We're just going to do 3 today. We're going to open those up. And I want to show you something about.
While you're doing that, can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
So the term compounded interest, is that the same across the board, like whether it's a car or home or retail credit?
Okay. First of all, compound interest has nothing to do with paying interest on debt. Okay. Compound interest means I'm paying interest on interest. Okay. Amortized interest means you pay interest on the unpaid balance.
Okay.
Okay. That's amortized interest. So we take 1/12 of the interest rate and then multiply it by the unpaid balance.
Okay.
So if you have a 30-year mortgage, that's 360 payments. So the way that they do this, and this is how what amortization does to a debt. If it's 360 payments or 30 years, every single month, it's a brand new mortgage. So it's not one mortgage. It's 360 separate ones because each month you have a new amount, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's 360 separate mortgages, not one. Because if you had the money, could you pay it all off at one time if you had the money?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's one payment. It's one mortgage. But we don't. So they want us to make 360 payments. We're going to show you how to make I don't know, 84 payments instead, 84 to 90 payments. So listen, we're going to show you how to make a lot fewer payments. So let's take a look at this one. This is a situation where we have somebody that has a mortgage, two mortgages of $634,000. They have 12 credit cards. Can you imagine $201,000 in credit card debt? Can you imagine that? Okay. Okay. And three other loans, 197,000. They owe a total of $1 million. $1 million that they owe. Average interest rate is about 5%. If you take a look at all of this, okay. Now, here's how much interest the bank wants: $692,286. That's how much interest they want. By working with us, this is how much interest they're going to pay: $179,954. Okay. So, Catherine, if that's your phone, you can go ahead and put it on silent.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that now.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
All right. That's okay. 179,954. Look at that. So, which means if they pay only $179,000, 180,000 in interest instead of the 692,000 the banks want, guess what? That would mean their interest rate would have to be 1.1%. Catherine, can you imagine having an interest rate of 1.1%? What type of phone do you have? iPhone?
No, it's not an iPhone.
Okay.
Should I get an iPhone?
Well, I like iPhone, but I could have tell you how there should be a button on the left side of your button that turns off the sound. So anyway, and it's usually the very top button. Just hold it in and then the sound turns off. Okay. But anyway, there you go. So here's what I'm doing, or you can just turn off the phone.
That's what.
All right. So folks, can you see that? How would you like to have an effective interest rate of borrowing money at around 1%? Catherine, would you love that?
I would love it.
Here's another situation where we take somebody's payment up. They've got a $75,000 mortgage, $21,000, almost $22,000 in loans. They come to $98,000 that they owe. The bank wants them to pay $40,000 interest on $98,000 that they owe. We're going to show them how to pay less than $17,000 in interest. Look at that, $17,000, and that would mean they would have to have an interest rate of 1.08%. Wow. So you are in control of how much interest you pay. You are in control of how much the bank receives. You are in control. The bank is no longer in control. How do they stay in control? Through our ignorance of how the process works. They want us not to know. So once you know, you can't unsee this. Okay. Uh-oh, I lost Catherine. She's gone. I lost her. Okay. Must be an internet thing. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand that you are in complete control. You don't have to pay all that interest. Here's someone that was supposed to pay $163,000 in interest, but they're only going to pay $41,638, which means their effective interest rate is 0.64%, less than 1%. We show them how to cancel up to 75% of the interest. This is a 75% discount on this one. This one is a 58% discount on this one. This one is 74% discount on this one. How would you like to get the discount instead? Canceling all of that interest instead of the banks canceling your payment and discounting your payments so that only 30 cents out of every dollar, 20 cents out of every dollar, and I've seen some where it's only 12 cents out of every dollar is actually paying back the loan. You don't have to do it that way. So do I have any other questions in the audience? Okay. So Carrie D says, I had believed that loan modifications do not allow prepayments. So I am surprised this works with a loan modification. Carrie D, oh, I'm glad you brought that up because let me show you something here. Okay. So the more questions you ask, the more things I can actually show here. So let me change I got to change my Outlook here. All right. So we're going to change that to, since I only have one person in the studio, which is me. Okay. So let me also, I'm going to change my background. There we go. I want to change my background so you guys can see that. All right. All right. So there we go. So listen, folks, can you, all right. So I'm going to put in this $225,000 mortgage. And what modification sometimes what they do is they will change it to a 40-year loan. Okay. Carrie D, you said you have an earlier question. Okay. Okay. Can you copy it and paste it again? I will go over that, Carrie. All right. And if you could come to the stage and talk to me, that would help out greatly. Okay. Because if I have to find it, it takes time away from the show. Raise your hand, we'll bring you to the stage, or you can retype it, and then I'll see it that way. I don't have to look for it. Okay. So you can even copy it and paste it. All right. So let's take a look at a 40-year mortgage. That would be 480 payments. Okay. Look at this mortgage payment of 1422.15. All right, we're going to change that to, instead of 1422, it is now 1317. Okay. And now look at our principal payment. Look at this. Look at the first two principal payments. $98, $99, $99. So, folks, what have you learned today? That if you don't know how to read an amortization schedule, this will cause you pain because you're looking at it. They're discounting my whole payment by a ton. All right. And only $98 of my money is going to principal. Or you could look at it as, and to say, you know, when I make my first payment, all I need is an extra 99 bucks. I give that $99 to the bank when they're not expecting it. And that saves me $1,200 in interest. $1,200 in interest. Catherine, you're back. Okay.
I feel so stupid because I was using a hotspot.
Oh.
And I turned off my phone.
Oh. You're using it as a hotspot. I didn't realize that. Okay.
I should have realized that. It's like it was one of those duh moments.
Oh.
Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're back. Okay. So let me do this. Okay. We're going to change our Outlook here. So don't worry about it. So we were just going over a 40-year loan and what a 40-year loan does to this. Catherine, can you see my screen okay? What we did.
Pay off mortgage in 7 years screen is what I see.
Okay, is that what you see?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me remove this and then put this back. Okay. Are you seeing my screen now on your computer?
I still see the blue screen with the pay off mortgage in 7 years in yellow.
Huh. I wonder why you can't see my screen. All right. But anyway, you were seeing it so well before. Maybe it's just taking a while to load because you're using a hotspot.
Possibly.
Okay. And you're on your computer, right?
I am.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so right now, okay, you're seeing it now?
No, but don't let that stop you. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. Yeah, it's because you're using a hotspot. Okay, that's why it is. So we have $99. All right. If I give the bank that $99 ahead of time, I don't have to pay them $1,200 in interest. If I give them this $100 here, I don't have to give them this $1,200 in interest. So when I see a 40-year mortgage, I actually get happy because your principal payments are so much smaller. You are in greater control of this loan. I wish everybody could get a 40-year mortgage. So if you have right now, if you're watching us live or you're watching the replay, if you have a modification, if you have a 40-year loan, or you don't know if you have a 40-year loan or not, you need to contact us right away. You need to let me put my phone number up. You listen, call us right away if you ever had a modification. Okay, so let me go here to the banners, and I'm going to put our phone number up on the screen again. All right, it's crawling across the screen, 256-886-1867. If you have a modification, you may have a 40-year loan. You may be in the best position possible to pay this loan off in about 7 to 9 years. I love 40-year mortgages. Okay. All right. So they put you in a better spot because you control the principal payment. Remember this, control the principal payment, you control the mortgage. You can cancel a lot more interest with a 40-year loan. You can cancel more interest at a slightly higher interest rate. Never, never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever refinance to a lower interest rate just to get a lower interest rate. If you can afford the payment, keep your higher interest rate and pay the loan off faster. If you want to know how to do that, give us a call. Fill out fill out a request for a savings report. There's too much information out here for you to suffer with paying 35 to 39% of your income on interest when it could be canceled. So, Catherine, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it. I'm looking at, so Carrie D. So is this? All right, well, she's thinking.
Okay, so
with a
I'm
higher
sorry,
interest rate, we pay the principal faster. So the only way we lose is if we cannot pay the extra principal. You see, yes. All right, go ahead, Catherine. There's a serious delay, a huge delay.
Can you hear me in real time now?
I don't know if it's real time, but I can hear you.
I don't think it's real time. So let me hurry up and say the question. The question is,
wherever you are, you don't have Wi-Fi, I guess.
I don't. Well, I have it, but it's not. My computer is not picking it up for some reason.
Go ahead with your question.
So my question is, we're looking at making these payments like the principal payments to bring down the mortgage. But what if would it do the same thing if we just say had this payment of, instead of like $247.30, we just paid $1,000? Would that do the same thing, or would it be worth it to do that?
That's a good question. Okay. So you're getting this answer. I know for you, it's going to be delayed. Okay. But what we're just showing you the basics here with our program tells you exactly how much to pay, what month to pay it in, what day of the month to pay it on, which loan to attack to save the most interest possible for you. So the guesswork on how much to pay is totally gone. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So Carrie D says with a higher interest rate, we pay the principal faster. So the only way we listen, Carrie, if you have any money left over, you don't have to have a lot of money left over. $10 can save you a ton. $100 could save you a ton. So what we're doing is, let me bring up our opportunity cost calculator. I'm going to bring that up so you guys can see it. And we're going to show you what everybody is using. Okay, here we go. Open this. All right. So while I'm bringing that up, folks, I'm going to be in Philadelphia in March. Okay, I'm speaking at the Diversa Tech conference. It's a tech conference, and I'm on March 21. I'll be speaking there. Okay, so let me take this off, and I'll put more information about that on the screen in just a second. Let me take this off the screen. All right, and we'll move this off of here. All right, there we go. All right, so let me take this down. All right. And I'm going to bring up our there we go. And I think you're going to like this. Let me pull this over here and bring up our demo. There it is. All right. And put this back on the screen. Okay, here's our demo, ladies and gentlemen. This is the program that runs everything. The program that runs everything, and it tells you exactly what to do. This is John and Rebecca Jones, and I'm going to reset their account. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to take a look. We run it with these buttons up here at the top. We're going to take a look at their accounts. And right now, John and Rebecca Jones have $500 in checking. They have a little over $5,000 in savings. They have a $25,000 auto loan. They have $2,000 on a Visa. They owe $200,000 on a mortgage at 6%. They owe a total of $227,000. Our program has already calculated that they're going to save $179,606 in interest. They will not have to pay the bank. And because of the interest they're not paying the bank, they will be able to pay off all of their debt, not in 30 years, but in 7.7 years. That's the car. That's the mortgage. That is the credit cards, everything in 7.7 years. That is around the average. Okay. So here's the money that they're using. Okay. The same money they use to qualify for the loan. All right. John gets paid bi-weekly, $950. Rebecca gets paid weekly, $700. And when you add it all up, the average is about a little over $5,000 a month. Their bills add up to a little over $3,700 a month, leaving them about $1,300 a month left over. So whatever you have left over, that's what we use. The program, whenever it sees that you have money left over, it tells you to put it in your savings account. So here's what the program does. When John gets paid, he just clicks on this line and says, you know what? I got paid. All right. And he tells the program that he got paid. And this adds that money to his virtual checking account in the program. So now their virtual checking account has $1,450 in it because it matches what they have at the bank, $1,450. So now when they pay the mortgage, they'll subtract that amount of money from the mortgage. All right. They'll subtract $1,199.10 from what they have. and then they'll keep on paying their bills. They pay the utilities, they get another paycheck. And look at this. Do you see these little arrows here? These arrows say take money from the checking account and put it in the savings account, $100.90. It tells you exactly what to do, because the program is calculated that that's $100 they don't need for anything else, because all of their bills are in the program. Look at that. Can't be any simpler than that. All right. So now we're going to pay the phone bill. We're going to get another paycheck in. And when we do, the program is going to ask John and Rebecca to put $589.49 in their savings account and just keep it there until it's time to put money on the debt. And when they do, they're going to put a total of $2,021 on the debt in February. But we're starting out this program at the beginning of January. Look at that. At the beginning of January, we're here. And in February, they're paying off the credit card out of the savings account, because that's how much money they saved up. What did they do in January? They just made minimum payments on the debt. That didn't change. They just make minimum payments. So I'm going to take you through about 3 months on this program by clicking off the entire month, so we don't have to do them individually. So I'm selecting the month of January. We're going to do execute multiples and execute the entire month of January, and it's gone. Now, do you see, now we're in February, where we're going to actually pay off the credit card. We're still saving money. We are still saving money. We're still paying the bills, but the only debt that gets extra money this month is the credit card only. The program has chosen that one, and we're going to pay that off to zero out of the savings account. So we're going to select the entire month again. All right, execute multiple payments and do the entire month of February now. And when we do that, here's how much interest we've saved. We're going to put that right up here in the actual column. They've saved $1,800 worth of interest that they never have to pay by prepaying the credit card. Now that the card is paid off, we take a look, scroll down and say, oh, the next time we put money on debt will be on the mortgage here in April. So if we click on that and click on execute, by putting $2,500 out of savings. So, well, let me back up here. After we pay off the credit card, the program goes back to saving money again. Put this much in savings, $350. Put $700 in savings. This is money they don't need to pay bills with. Put another $400.40 in savings. Put $550 in savings. Put another $440.49 in savings until we have enough built up over the next 2 months to put $2,500 on mortgage principal. When we do, that will save us $12,224 in interest we never have to pay the bank. So, Ms. Catherine, I know this is delayed, but does this give you a better idea of the program telling you exactly what to do and when?
Oh, definitely.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. So the program takes it up. So just follow it, just like GPS. All right. We don't take control of your money, just like GPS doesn't take control of your car. It just tells you when to turn. So we just tell you when to put the money away out of the money that you're working with. Now get the idea of a spreadsheet out of your mind. A spreadsheet you put in ahead of time that you're going to do a certain amount of money each month. But with our program, we can only use what you actually have left to work with. So if your expenses are extraordinarily high one month, you may not have any money to put in savings. So the program says this month we don't put anything in savings, but the next month you will. And so we'll carry on and we'll keep putting money away until it's time to put money on the debt. We'll never put stress on you saying, do this, put X amount of money on the debt, now go find it. No, that's stressful. And we don't like stress at the P.I.L.L method. We don't like it at all. Okay? So now, what if I'm learning a new program? Can I get help? Well, I need you all to look at the lower right-hand corner, see this headset. We have a whole team standing by right now to answer our phones. So Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time, somebody's at this number, 877-676-5638, to answer that phone, to answer questions about our program, boom, and to help you. So what else could you ask for? You got help. You've got somebody to call. So, and we don't do email customer service. We don't do leave a message and we call you back later. We don't do making you feel bad about calling for help. We don't do that at all. 5-star customer service. We love it when you call because we get to help you. Oh my gosh. That's just customer service. But in addition to customer service, you also get a coach assigned to you so that you can work one-on-one with your coach every couple of weeks or so to establish a brand new way of doing things for you. You may need to take a look at your particular needs and develop a strategy around this program so that the coach can help you to set up the program to help you to work with your strategy. So we don't fit you in a box. We build the program around you so that you get what you need out of this, not the other way around. Okay? So we set this whole thing up to manage around you. And that's why we give you a coach that knows the program backwards and forwards. And customer service can handle the simple questions. Okay? There you go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's a little bit about what we do. This is how we use AI to beat the bank at their own game. This thing is designed to disrupt the bank's timing and make it impossible for them to charge you interest. So Carrie D, I hope that answers your question when you said that the higher interest rate, we pay off the principal faster. So the only way we lose is if we cannot pay extra principal. Well, I have yet to find somebody that can't do that. Even if it's $1, even if it's $5, even if it's $10, we will take what you have and use it to pay down the debt, put money on principal. And like I said, the average family has 13 different debts. So as we start to pay off that debt, one by one, that leaves you more money available to put on a different debt. Okay. And that's why the average family can be out of debt in about 7 years. Now, have I met people that it took 12 years to get out of debt? Yes, I have. But it's still better than 30. It's still better than not at all. 9 out of 10 people will never get out of debt. At least they have a way to handle this. They can see some light at the end of the tunnel. And it starts right here. Here's where it starts. Get a savings and earnings report. Okay? ICE, 10K.com, or go to PILLmethod.com. Click on this button, get a savings and earnings report. Okay, and start there. There you have it. Okay, so do I have any other questions from anybody else today? We've been here for a total of 2 hours and 29 minutes, and we had somebody actually come into the studio with us today, and she wanted you to know. okay, that she is not paid to do this. This is the first time we've actually met Miss Catherine Chance, and she had the opportunity to ask some questions. So, is there anything else I can help you with, Miss Catherine, at
Just
this
one
time?
little question. One little question. So this virtual savings,
Sure.
is it interest bearing?
No, we use your savings account. We're just reporting to the program how much you have
Okay.
in your savings account.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it means by virtual. It's not real.
Okay.
Okay, but we have to know how much. So the program needs to know how much you have in your checking and in your savings account. And I need you all to start thinking like this so you can understand it. The amount of interest you can make by keeping it in the bank doesn't even compare with the amount of interest you can save by using it to cancel debt. Do you know? And I know this is hard for you to imagine, Catherine, but we meet people like on a weekly basis that have $100,000 to $150,000 sitting in a checking account, and they got debt.
Oh my God.
And listen, and it's making them so little money, but they love looking at it. They make good money, but they love looking at that money in a savings account when they could be canceling a ton of interest if they let us help. How about that?
Can I say
So
something?
not only, go ahead. Yes, please.
So I don't know, whether, if, or how many believers we have on the line, but I'm hearing that this is the year of the transfer of wealth. And this is one means by which we can do that.
Okay. Because I'm telling you, you are so true. Over the next 4 years, it's going to be the greatest transfer of wealth, I believe, in history. And it's away from the middle class, away from you, because we don't know. Let me tell you what's actually going on, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to realize where you are in the system. If you have a job, your job is to earn money. That's your job. It's to earn money. And then take that money that you earn and then have some fun with it. Do some things that you enjoy, but transfer a great deal of it to the wealthy. Buy things that you purchase either in cash or using debt, using your credit cards, using your to get a car loan, to get a mortgage, but you still have enough left over to buy food, you do a little entertainment, so you can go back to work and turn over 35 to 39% of your income to somebody else to make them rich. So in other words, every business, every way of making money needs a natural resource to exploit. We are the natural resource for the banks, especially for the central banks in every single country. Our job is to work, take our time, our blood, sweat, and tears, turn it into money so that they can siphon off 35 to 39% of what we make to them, and we don't even realize it's happening. That's our job in the system. But what if we found out what they were doing? What if we found out that we can cancel 75% of that money? Because once they get that money, Catherine, once they get that money, what do they do with the money they get from us? What do bankers do with it?
Invest.
Invest. So if you don't have to pay it, can you invest it?
Certainly.
Oh, Oh my gosh. Let me show you something here. I'm going to put something back on the screen and you're going to love it. We have people. Okay, let me change this around. Okay, boom, here we go. On the savings and earnings report, on the last line here, the interest you are no longer paying. For this family, we're going to show them how to turn that into an extra $4 million. Because if you're not paying it to acquire your education, your house, or your car, that's money you don't have to pay, but you signed up to pay it. Oh, yeah, right here. You signed up to give them $692,000 in interest. You're only going to pay $179,000. That's $512,000 in interest you will not have to pay. That's $500,000. If we invest that money right over 20 years or so, it can turn into $4 million for your family. This is just an average family. It's a W-2 family. They make their money because they exchange hours for dollars. But they save so much money in interest, if they put it to work for them, they can make $4 million in the time they're ready to retire. But guess what? This is only at 1% return on their money. 1% return. What if they could make 6% or 7% or 8%? Okay, that's this family. What about this family here? They didn't have a whole lot of money. They have a mortgage of $75,000. They have, and their interest, they're only saving $23,000. Well, that money can turn into $330,000 for them. Look at that.
Well,
so you don't have to be rich to get rich. You can't save your way to wealth, ladies and gentlemen. You need to take the money, and I want to be very clear. Listen to me closely. I'm looking straight into the camera here. The extra interest you pay is really not the crime. The real crime is the money that your money will never make for you because you gave it away.
Mm.
How much money is your money supposed to make for you? You make money so that you can put money to work. We have been taught not to put our money to work. We have been taught to consume and to save, but not to really put it to work. What if we did? What if there was a system that was totally designed about not paying the interest to the banks, you saving that money and you putting it to work in safe investments? There are a lot of safe investments that you don't lose your principal. Okay? There's a lot of things you could do. We're going to show you how you can take your debt and turn it into wealth. Now, you can believe it or not believe it, but here's what I do know. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. So if you're not satisfied with if your financial situation, if you're not satisfied, keep doing the same thing is only going to get you more of the same. Okay. Credit goddess, you listening to that?
I heard everything that you were putting down.
It sounds like you tell people the same thing.
I say the same thing.
Credit goddess is going to be here next week, folks, talking about if you have a business, even a new business, you can get business funding. You can borrow money even in a new business, and she's going to show you how to do it. Oh, that's next week. I can't wait. I can't wait till next week. Credit goddess. That's Rosa Laura Lewis, everybody. She's on Clubhouse.
Is it the same day every week?
This is going to be next Wednesday, starting at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. She's going to be in here. And if you can't be here, the replay will be up as soon as we're done. You can watch the replay on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. You can watch it there. Okay. So, Credit Goddess, can you give us just a little teaser about what they're going to hear next week?
Oh, okay. So I am going to break it down for you guys to kind of, kind of bring some light to the confusion. A lot of times I get clients that come to me and say they want to, build business credit so, they can fund their business. But I'm going to show you a way that you don't really have to build it. You can leverage your personal credit to do so, right? To jumpstart it. This is what I call pre-revenue. Pre-revenue is before you start making money, you can actually get up to $250,000 for your business just leveraging your personal credit. So I will break all of that down and to show you what that looks like and how you can do that today and get funded in a matter of a week, right? To start your business. So you don't have to bootstrap it. And I was talking to Don, if we just join forces together, because he would teach you how to save up to 75% on interest, you would never have to worry about the 24.99 interest rates on any credit cards or any loans that you're borrowing. You would know how to use other people's money, but all you need is just access to other people's money. And I will show you how to access other people's money today. Oh, well, I would say within 24 hours, and how to position yourself to do so. So that's next Wednesday, you guys.
But you telling me that a new business that they're trying to generate revenue, right? They don't have a really good revenue stream right now. They can actually borrow money.
Yes. They can, you know what? You know what? I did not know that I was doing this very thing in 2016, but when everyone was, everyone's talking about like how you need to establish a, business credit by getting a EIN, a LLC, a website, an address. And I didn't do any of that. And my business was a week old.
Wow.
And I got $60,000.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show you how I did it.
Oh, look at Catherine. Put their ear up to the screen. Okay, listen, I got AK in here. AK wanted to come to the stage. Did you have a question? AK? I can barely hear you.
I'm new here. Can you give me some little context? What are you talking about?
Okay, well, what we're talking about is in if you're in the U.S., we're going to be talking about how to fund a brand new business next week.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Basically, I'm from India, but I love to.
Okay, we can't hear you.
Hello,
I'm sorry.
I am audible to you.
All right. Sorry, couldn't hear him. Okay, I guess his internet wasn't good. All right, folks, listen. Here's what we're looking at. We want you to understand how money actually works. What we're not taught as consumers, so basically, we've been turned into a natural resource for the rich. Okay, this is how people get rich. They exploit a natural resource. All right. So if you just take a look at any country that has been occupied, okay, they go in and occupy the country for the purpose of exploiting their resources. They're bringing their guns, they're bringing their cannons, okay? They go into countries and say, we're going to extract your gold out, your natural resource, and we're going to take it to our country and use it. So here's what, when it is much more valuable, and we make a lot more money if I can leverage people. If I can leverage everybody who's working in a country that borrows money to buy a house, that borrows money to get a car, that borrows money on credit cards, even if you do well in paying off your bills, I can turn them into a natural resource because they don't realize how much interest they're actually paying. Now, anybody listening to me right now, have you ever added up how much interest you actually pay in a month? Catherine, have you ever done that?
I was too afraid to see the results.
Okay. Anybody else? Has anybody else on that's listening to me online, on Clubhouse, or watching the video, has anybody else added up how much interest you're paying in a month? Has anybody ever done that? You see, once you do that, now you're seeing how much money is being funneled out of your system into somebody else's system to make them rich. We are taught not to pay attention to it. Okay. And there's a term for that. It's called inattentional blindness. You're blind to what you don't pay attention to. Inattentional blindness. Colin Black says, yes, 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 done that. Okay, there you go. Colin Black has done that, watching us on YouTube. So, folks, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Okay, so we've been here almost 3 hours. So I'm going to get out of here. I've bent your ear long enough. I think you know by now you can save a lot of money in interest. You can cancel that money that the banks have for you. I'm going to put something on the screen here. Okay, so we're going to go here, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the conference I'm going to be speaking at in 2 weeks. Okay, so I will be in Philadelphia. All right, so we're going to black out the screen, and I'm going to show you just some of the speakers. Okay, here we go. And let's see, where's that video? I've got that video somewhere. All right, here it is. All right, folks. So let me take this off so that you can see us again. There we go. So I need you to go here. This is Diversitech. All right, and they have a Instagram page. All right, they have Instagram, so you can learn more about Diversitech. But this is how we get people of color into tech. All right, so my goal is to show them how they can use technology to level up their game with mortgages and real estate investing. Real estate investors are leaving millions of dollars on the table because they don't understand how amortization schedule works. We're going to teach them how an amortization schedule works. We're also going to show them how artificial intelligence employed this way can make you a ton of money by using debt correctly. Oh my goodness. This is the first time this has ever been done. Okay? And you want to start watching all of my videos. There's a lot of free content out there, but if you want to start turning this around for yourself, please do. Look up Diversitech, all right, online, and get a ticket, all right, and then meet me in Philly on March 21. All right. I'm speaking on March 21. I'm going to be there from the 20th, probably through the 22nd, but I'm speaking on the 21st of March. And they have breakout rooms. Okay. But I'm not speaking in a breakout room. I'm speaking on the main stage to everyone. That's how badly they want this information. Not in a small breakout, but to the total general audience on the main stage at 11:30 a.m. Okay, on the 21st of March, which is right after my birthday, which is on the 13th of March. And I just put that out there just in case you all want to send me a present. Ah! Okay, kidding, not kidding.
Happy birthday to you.
Come on, girlfriend. I love it.
Listen, ask and you shall receive.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's see you at Diversitech. Not only that, but let's see you at let's get that savings and earnings report done. All right. We want to get that done. We also want you to realize how blessed you are to get this information. And I have just one last little commercial to play for you. But here we go. I need you to see this, and then we're almost done. How many want to know how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years? You can do all of this without refinancing, without change to your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle.
Me and my husband do the P.I.L.L method, and last year we were able to pay down $33,000 on our mortgage without feeling like we were poor. We still did tons of entertaining things and enjoyed our family.
You don't have to eat beans and rice every day. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to pay off your mortgage. All you need to do is pay the bank less interest. That's what we're talking about today. Here is what P.I.L.L method stands for: prepayment of principal, isolation of principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. You understand it? You have a way of getting out of debt more efficiently. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. You think you're buying a $500,000 home. The true cost of that home is what? $758,000. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51.777%. That's what's going on with this loan. The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. I need you to understand the power of a penny. You will not hear what I'm talking about from Dave Ramsey. Do you know why? Because I own the copyright. I literally wrote the book.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.
There you have it. So, Criticals, did you recognize those two voices at the end?
I did. That was Otis and Anthony.
Listen.
Real estate investors in California. That's awesome.
Exactly. So, folks,
Where was this? Where was this event?
That was in Tennessee, in 2022. That was my event where I brought in Eric Thomas.
Okay.
As a keynote speaker.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they were speakers on the same event. So, and now I'm going around the country speaking on other people's platforms, and I love speaking. I love teaching, and so the next opportunity is going to be in Philly. I want to see you there at the Rivers Casino on March 21st at Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, folks. So, I'm going to love being there and meeting you in person. All right. So any other questions or comments before I get out of here? Because I got to get to work. There's other people that I have to actually talk to today and help them. Okay. Says, how much is the conference? Go to, there's different ticket prices. I've got on the screen. Go to Diversitech and you can click on grab a ticket and it will tell you there. Okay. Yeah. So everything is on the website. Grab a ticket there. All right. So let me see if there's any other questions. All right. 7:30. All right. Okay. All right, folks. I think I've answered most of the questions here today. And don't forget, I need you to be right back here next week for Credit Goddess, and she's going to show you the easy way to get funding for your business, your new business. Now, there are other ways to get funding for an established business. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how to get funding for your new business. Okay. And she's the only one I know that talks about that. Okay. But we're going to team up and show you. There are a lot of people that show you how to get that money. But there's nobody on Clubhouse. There's nobody on the internet. There's no, Dave Ramsey doesn't do it. Susie Orman doesn't do it. They don't show you how to pay back the money more efficiently. In fact, Dave Ramsey hates this information. Okay. And actually, he actually talks about it on his show. And I've got a little clip I need you to see to show you that there are people that are trying to keep you from getting this information. That you saw the numbers, you saw that it works. Why would anybody want to keep you from getting this information? Listen.
Good. So I am more of like a future planner. Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income. Mm-hmm. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal. Mm-hmm. And they don't really understand how that works. Like, I was watching the P.I.L.L method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to.
What? He is a nut. Why didn't Dave say, well, who's the P.I.L.L method? Who's that? What is that? What are you talking about? He went straight to, he is a nut.
Right. I don't understand.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Dave Ramsey views the P.I.L.L method as a threat to his business?
As a threat? How?
Have mercy. All right, folks, that's going to be it for this week. Again, I want to thank Rose for being here. I want to thank Catherine Chance for coming into the studio.
Thank you for having me here.
Being brave enough to come on in and share a little bit about her life. And I hope that we have been a blessing to you and everyone else that was here today. And don't forget to call my executive assistant, give her your information so we can send you out a book signed by me, Miss Catherine.
I will not. I wrote it down. I will be speaking with, where did I put it? Terasa,
yes. All right.
Yep.
All right, then. Okay, I'm getting ready to get out here. Credit Goddess, do you have any a last word for the people before we say goodbye?
Nope, just go and be great.
Go and be great, everybody. See you next week, everyone. And so we're going to go out with our theme music. And well, that's it for this week. All right. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great week. And I have a replay for you on Friday. All right. At 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, a replay on our YouTube channel. See ya.